Ever since 2018, I've been living on this farm that, yeah, it's been quite the interesting journey if I don't say so myself. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you why this changed my life completely, and I'm going to be telling you the whole story, basically. If you want a little bit more information, you can check out the card linked above, which actually goes down throughout the whole story. But anyways, let's talk about this. By the way, 4K before August, I'll do a live stream every day. PSA, streams will be an hour if ends up happening. Let's go. So as you know, we bought this farm in 2018, and what is the first thing we had to do when we bought this farm? And that was mowing down all the fields. We got a brush hog to attach to our tractor. We mow down all the fields back there. The only issue with all that being, well, they grew back really quickly. But fortunately, they were at the end of the growing season. It was October. I'm from the Northeast, so we get a whole lot of issues with we get a whole lot of snow in the winter, so that should cut down on the amount of grass we have in the fields during the duration of that season. So when we cut down all those fields, of course they just came back in the spring, but at least we had some fields to walk through. There's also a ton of pine trees in this field. They didn't really do anything. We could just forget about their entire existence. I just thought I'd bring them up, of course, because this is a video talking about the farm. And well, when we were on the first year on the farm, I thought they were pretty cool, but nowadays I just think, what was their purpose? However, the good news is that things were coming around the corner. Now it's just one night in the middle of February, maybe end of February, sometime around there, 2020. I was with my family in the living room, and we were watching TV, whatever. I don't remember what we were actually doing that night. It was like, I think it was TV, get some dinner, coming along the way on DoorDash or whatever. And I just remember, weirdly, that one night, I overheard that we're gonna get some chickens. I asked chickens, bro, when we're gonna get chickens? And they're like, probably soon, sometime in March, I think around March 20th. And I was like, all right. Of course, on March 13th, we all know what's gonna happen. This video is not monetized, but in the future, if it is, then yeah, I might not be able to say that. But a certain virus began, if you know, you know. And as you probably end up knowing, that kind of just screwed up the plans. However, for about a week, there's a little gracing period where like, it was like, all right, it was a little bit socially acceptable to go outside as long as you have a mask on or whatever. So we got the chickens on March 20th. And we brought them home, we put them upstairs. We wanted to put them in the barn, but as you know, in March, temperatures can still get into the teens. That can even happen in April here in the Northeast. And that actually happened this year. We actually had like 3 inches of snow last April, so it can still happen. And we wanted to put them in the barn. However, the temperature of the brooder, even though the temperature of the brooder is 90 degrees, the air temperature is like 60 degrees. So that's not gonna help them at all in the slightest case. So the best thing that we could really do at that point is just like put them in the upstairs of our house, which isn't finished, but there was a finished room until recently. We tore that out of there. So that's what we did. It's basically all we did. We just put them up there. The brooder temperature was nice and warm. They survived. Everybody survived. However, there was a certain day, June 29th, 2020, that really changed everything. And that was because on that day, it opened up my eyes to potential issues on the farm. Basically, what ended up happening was that, like, well, right behind my back, I remember I was in the kitchen and I was chefing up something. I don't actually remember what I was cooking up in the kitchen. Whatever it was something really basic. I think it was like pizza rolls or something like that. Throw them in the toaster or whatever. Then I go outside, I see one of my chickens. They're right down there. You see that barn down there? They're right around there. Except the barn didn't exist back then. That was just a bunch of weeds. So I go down there, see one of my chickens. I'm like, all right, what you doing down there? And I go into the yard and I see a dead chicken. And that hit me hard, man. I was disappointed. I see the hawk right in front of me, bro. And you already know, because I was younger back then, I was screaming swear words at that thing. Like it definitely heard the most swear words I think a red-tailed hawk, which is actually what killed my chicken, has ever heard in his entire life. I don't think I've ever swore more in a day than that day, June 29th, 2020. I got it away, we buried the chicken, but after that day, for about 2 days straight, I'm gonna show you exactly where I was. Sat outside for 2 days because I was that pissed. It was right over here. The hawk, I think the tree branch it landed in was that one right there. The yard was like right over here. I found the dead chicken like right there, kind of. And yeah, that was quite the interesting day if I don't say so myself. I just sat out here with like a chair, some like goldfish and some cereal or whatever I had around that time of day. I just sat outside watching the chickens, had a book or something like that with me. And then once they go away at night, I put them away. But after that, the next day we had a pretty bad thunderstorm and I was like, I'm done with this. So we just moved them a little bit closer to the house. And they were overjoyed to go outside. Like there was tons of clover flowers, which if you don't know are these, except multiply that by maybe about 1,000. You throw them in that yard, which is around where the pool is, and bam, you get some really happy chickens. And in my opinion, Super happy chickens. And after that, I really got intrigued by chickens. I don't know what it was. It just like flipped the switch off my head or whatever. It was at that moment that I realized I was actually pretty good at videoing chickens. I had an old 2014 Samsung phone because like I was still in middle school back then. And like I was recording videos on that phone of my chickens and editing them down, creating a little TV series that was like 36 seconds long. I might even still have the video files. Obviously I ain't gonna show them up on the screen because they're terrible, but like they were interesting, and that's what really got me into making videos with my chickens. Over time, I created a YouTube channel, of course, in 2021. We got some more chickens, and that's what really intrigued me. At first, I was totally against the idea, but as time grew on, I was like, that was actually a pretty good idea. The only issue is that of those chickens, 5 of them remain, and all 5 of them are in the flock that I never thought they'd end up being in, the pet flock. But still, man, shout out to the original farm flock and pet flock, man. They're the real ones. They inspired me to create this channel, man, and eventually I started uploading pretty consistently on here, man, about the chickens and all that whatnot. So over time, man, farming really got me into portions of my life I didn't even know I was interested in. And this can go for you. You could find something in your life that you don't know you're actually interested in. Even if you just walk outside in nature, you might find a new passion. You might go outside in nature, and you're like, man, I'm really good at videoing. So I'm gonna go home, edit this down to a YouTube video, and in like a week, you could have 1 million subscribers. You could have a gold play button sitting on your desk, arriving the next day. And you could already have like a lot of money in the bank. Sadly, my channel's not monetized, as you know, but it's at least something that I enjoy doing. Obviously not doing it for the money, just for the fun, but it would be really cool to have that in the future. So if you'd like to help support my dreams, and yeah, I guess like and subscribe. I'm not really gonna force you to. And also, if you wanna learn a little bit more about raising chickens anywhere you want to, because chickens supposedly changed my life, there you go, right on the screen. Forgot to mention gardening for whatever reason. That also changed my life a lot, but I personally think chickens is what really got me into it. So I'll see you there.